Hi, and welcome to Bululu Wellness, your guide to well-being. Here, we simplify health with practical and easy-to-use tools to help you live a healthier life. Hello, and welcome back to Bululu Wellness. Today, I want to share a chapter of my life when panic attacks returned to the max during a season of big transitions. I want to talk about how I discovered tools and therapies that help me understand my body and my mind through that process. When I graduated from high school in Caracas, I decided to come to school in the United States. You see, I decided to leave my entire community because of a dream. Not only I left my community, I left all my therapists and all the integrative centers that was supporting my health and mental wellness. Coming to the US was an extreme shock and culture shock for me, also leaving my friends behind since I've been going to school with them since I was 7 years old, and I didn't have any friends here. So the transition hit me hard. I clearly remember that one panic attack. I felt I was having a heart attack. My heart was racing, my chest was so tight, I couldn't breathe. And there was this overwhelming fear I couldn't explain. I went running to my mom's house and I couldn't stop crying. In that moment, I thought, am I dying? I felt like I was dying every second of my life. When I woke up the next day, I gave thanks for being alive again. But if you never experience panic attacks, it just feels like you're dying every day. My mom, trying to help me, she was looking help for me and trying to understand what were those feelings because at this time, I don't know if I told you, I still didn't know that that was called a panic attack. A non-denominational church or someone handed her a pamphlet that it was about panic attacks. When I read it for the first time, I realized that what I was experiencing had a name. And even though it didn't solve anything, it brought relief. I wasn't alone. I wasn't crazy. There was an explanation, there was a name for it. At the time, I was also going to school, and the counseling center at the university, the people that were studying psychology, they were doing some studies about neurofeedback. I remember clearly that they asked me if it was okay for me to receive a neurofeedback session, and they placed sensors on my head to measure my brain activity while I did focus exercises. It was eye-opening to realize how often my body was stuck in contraction. It was in constant tension. Little by little, I learned that I could train my brain to recognize states of calm. If you never had neurofeedback before, let me explain to you what it is. Neurofeedback is a brain training technique that uses sensors placed on the head to measure the brain's electrical activity, brain waves. Through a screen or exercises, the person receives real-time feedback about what is happening in their brain. The idea is that over time, the brain learns to self-regulate, reduce patterns of anxiety, hyperactivity, or tension, and promoting states of calm, focus, and overall well-being. To be honest, I didn't follow through the sessions because I wasn't focused enough. And I was pretty lost. I still didn't know where to go. I remember clearly this year's. I was feeling really lost. My stomach was hurting. They were doing gastritis and all other tests to see if I had any ulcers in my stomach. And I remember the doctor gave me a Wellbutrin, an anti-anxiety medication, which I denied and I said, no, thank you. This is not anxiety. But I was pretty lost, and nobody could have helped me at that moment or made me understand how anxiety or chronic stress or even my trauma could have been causing all these symptoms. At the time, my mom was being treated in this functional clinic for some heavy metals, and also she was not feeling well, and she had the greatest idea that I should go there as well. It was quite expensive, but this doctor was so kind that he told me that if I needed help, I could see his intern so he can help me. I did that. I put that session on my credit card and I did my first functional test, and it was for my neurotransmitters. That's where I learned that my brain could be in a chemical imbalance. And that's when I learned that possibly all the panic attacks that I've been feeling for the past 8 years could have been just that. This doctor helped me find natural options. He actually created a protocol that it was using lifestyle based tools. As a student with no money and no insurance, I started with small changes. I started with nutrition, breathing, rest, and most importantly, movement. Dance stopped being just a way to release stress and became an intentional tool to help me regulate my body. If today you're experiencing symptoms that doctors can't fully explain, I want to tell you this: keep searching. There are tools, there are options, and most of all, your body is always speaking to you. Listen with patience and compassion. And as always, I am here to support you. If you enjoy what you hear, subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. The more people join us, the closer we get to building a wellness community for everyone. Thank you for being here. Now let's navigate this bululu together. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any condition or disease. If you need help, please seek professional care.